With Isaiah Thomas, you are talking about two fine thieves in the backcourt. Steal leaders all time in the NBA.
Well, by fouling that time, what you did is you put Alvin Robertson on the free throw line, and for the season, he's just a 65% free throw shooter, so Chicago actually picks up a point on the exchange there by him only making 1 out of 2.
Bulls down by 3. 1:20 left in the game. Scottie Pippen dumps it off to King. Rather it's Williams, and inside Pippen banks it in. 1-point game. Pistons have it.
Chicago immediately gets up and extends its defense, tries to force a turnover in the backcourt, tries to keep the ball out of Isaiah's hands. They'd rather have Dumars or Alvin Robertson making decisions. They're not quite the same decision makers as Isaiah. So what happens now? Reverse roles. Dumars runs the show. Isaiah becomes the scorer.
Thomas on Armstrong, 6 to shoot. Little isolation. Rebound by Michael Jordan. Bulls could take a lead. Michael Jordan hasn't scored since 9-10 of this fourth quarter. And no miss as big as that one.
You could see as soon as the shot came out of his hand, it was flat, had no trajectory on it at all, and that could be fatigue, strength in the legs this time of the season.
Dumars for 3. Timeout Chicago, 15 seconds remaining in regulation. The Pistons up by 1. Detroit led by 17. They trailed by 3. Now they hold on to a 1-point lead. Bulls will have it when we come back.
Remember, Detroit has lost each of their last 5 games, which were decided by 3 points or less. They're up 1, 10 seconds left on the 24-second clock. Take it to the basket, draw contact, get to the foul line. Remember that Alvin Robertson said we launched too many shots at the wrong time. Although the 24-second clock was down at 4, then you've got to get a shot up. Perhaps you want to start it a little bit sooner, go into the basket, see if you can draw and kick out. Easier said than done when Michael Jordan is defending you.
What do you think Chicago will do here with 15 seconds remaining and down by a point?
One of the things I'd like to do is take Pippen from out of bounds, and after he passed it, I'd like to run him in and get him involved in the play. Here he is with the handoff.
Pippen isolating against Robertson for the lead.
As Detroit takes it in, Ronnie Rothstein will use a 20-second timeout to set something up. By taking the 20, he cannot advance the basketball. He must take it on the baseline. No question about it. If they don't get the steal, here's the quick pass, cut behind. They create the isolation for Pippen, who tries to go over the top of Alvin Robertson. One thing that Robertson will do, he'll fight you when the money's on the line. The ball up over the backstop, therefore it's Detroit's ball. Now, if Detroit does not like what they see when they come out of bounds with this 20-second timeout, they could take another full timeout and then advance the basketball.
Look at the timeout situation. Pistons with all the time in the world. The Bulls have got to deal with the 20, but the time right now, 8.5. And Detroit's possession.
If you're Chicago, there still is plenty of time. What you do is you go for the steal, you try and get it. If you get it, you have 8 seconds to try and make something happen. If you don't go get the steal, you foul immediately. Remember what we said, this team, Detroit, is number 25 in the NBA as far as free throw shooting. There are only 2 worst teams in the league. Detroit shooting under 72% as a team coming into this. Very dangerous taking the ball in the backcourt by the other team's basket. Most guys would advance it up to half court just in case there were a steal.
Robertson to inbound. What a pass to Mills. He'll break away. And the foul's in the corner. Would you have taken it down?
Personally, I would have probably used my other timeout, taken the ball at half court, advanced it up there. The thought being that if they steal it up in the front court, they still have to dribble it down the floor and make something happen. That took a lot of courage by Ron Rothstein to execute that play. What he basically did is he suckered him in, set him up by running a straight line, having everybody come to the basketball, and getting Terry Mills free on a back pick, sent him to the open area of the floor where there was no one else left to pick off the pass. Dangerous. Rothstein with the courage to make the call. Now Detroit must make its free throw here.
Mills began the game. with 16 points in the first quarter for Ron Roston. He went 7 of 7. He has 22 for the game, but just 2 in this second half.
And he's a good foul shooter. He's shooting 79% coming into this game from the free throw line. Chicago has no full timeout. They only have a 20, so they cannot advance the ball to half court. First thing they must do is secure the basketball if Mills should miss. If it's a make, I'm sure that Phil Jackson will use his 20, set something up, try and advance the basketball. Only 4.4 seconds remaining.
And the Pistons lead 101-99. 22nd timeout by the Chicago Bulls. And Detroit has done it on national TV against their archenemy. Shot the best game from the field they've had all season long. 58% from the field.
If we go back earlier in the game, we showed a replay of Detroit taking the ball out with 6.8 seconds remaining. They had 5 people touch the basketball, counting the guy that inbounded it, and still got a jump shot off and made it right before the end of that quarter. So 4.4 seconds is plenty of time to advance it and get a good shot. Interesting, will Ron Rosling put a man up on the basketball on the baseline, a big man, to try and bother the passer, or will he take him off the basketball and play 5 against 4 in the defensive end?
Now, do you circle Jordan on this play? He hasn't scored in 9 minutes. They tried Pippen last time. He missed it on the isolation against Robertson. What about Jordan this time?
You wanted to go to either Michael or Pippen on the initial pass because of their ability to, 1, advance it off the dribble, or 2, draw attention, and then pass the ball to an open person. You don't have all that much time to make a whole lot of things happen.
Last time these two teams met, November 11th, Chicago Stadium, overtime in a game 1 on a Jordan 3, 98-96.
Nobody on the ball. Look for the long touchdown pass.
The Pistons have beaten the Chicago Bulls.
You've got to finally feel a sense of relief that after being involved in 21 games decided by 4 points or less, after losing your last 5 losses by 3 or less, to finally come up and win one of the close ones, being shorthanded, getting some outstanding performances, there's got to be a sense of